All right, guys, welcome back to part two of Press Pass Live. Please excuse the last little crash. As you can see, there's no more video. I do everything on a laptop, and we have been trying for months and months and months to find the right settings, the right everything to make this come out as beautiful as we possibly could. And I think what we figured out is we just can't do video for more than two of us. If there's more than two of us, then we're gonna have to go pictures only. Well, we don't have those pictures ready, so we're gonna go no video. We're just audio, but this should work really much more smoothly. So before we crash, I'm not 100% sure where we crashed, but I know we just went to Maniac to get his thoughts around the incentive plan. So Maniac, please, let's get back to your thoughts about the incentive plan and share the stories that you were on.
All right. I gotta get my thing.
I know. I messed it all up.
But no, the incentive plan, Capri's Wayne touched on about guys the first couple seasons hard.
Oh,
They would achieve that.
I think you're breaking up a little bit more than you were just a few minutes ago, Mr. Maniac. This this is how these things work, friends. Like we are not professionals. We work really hard to get you guys, and it seems like every time we try to up our game, Nate causes a bunch of technical difficulties. Maniac's been with us perfectly all afternoon. The second my computer decides to crash and glitch out on me, his internet wants to start to crap out on him a little bit. So I think we got him back though. Let's talk more about this incentive plan, which I now have on the screen, so guys can actually see it.
Okay, I killed my video. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Dwayne touched on the part of Capri and guys was doing hard seasons trying to get that cap reset, get everything that and once they achieve that, then you can see the fall off. And I I see the cap reset, and they would go in gun ho into free agency, fight free agency out. One step that we did take season Madden contract for a couple of weeks off of the year until the third week. Um, that helped out a lot. Guys then were able to clear their cap and only give out 1 years and basic cap reset the following year and just keep the free agency uh, dry. You know, nobody could compete with it. Set their team a certain size, keep it there. So I definitely see the part of that actually was. I do like the part of getting the one contact with that because sometimes there is when you start off with your team in Madden, there is some guys that have ridiculous size contracts and cap. That's going to be that reprieve. Probably the only part that will probably hurt is like say for instance, take a little bit of break. I was Cowboys, and then I came back. Patriots that was totally half held themselves, and that just make it hard, possibly for a guy like that situation. Um, but I know for myself, you know, being open about how I did my, and then I went through a difficult time and stuff, and I kind of got, well, I've already achieved whatever from goal incentives. I'm not going to put, and that's not what this is about. After I had time to really reflect and stuff, that's not helping. It's hurting the concept, things that you can do to help uh, put out things, the graphics and things like that can help drive the league. And that's what about bringing the league together and getting rid of that. And I see it as a plus. And Dwayne thumbs up on that because it's a great idea, and I do like the part of getting a cap reset that or the contract reset. Maybe I might suggest or ask is if a guy takes over, there's going to be a contract reset allowed. Say, for instance, my situation, coming back, would that be allowed to the guy if situation like that ever occurred again?
Yeah, I think that the incentive plan is going to change for this season. So the points that guys are putting in right now, it's not listed because we haven't rolled it out, but um, you will get that one player contract reset for the first season of Madden 19. And so if you decide to use it before the season starts, then you can be allowed to do that. Um, yeah, so look, I think that it's a great idea from Dwayne. I think that it really is gonna. I think again, it's gonna help us get where we're trying to get as a league and a community, and that is keeping things fair and even. Um, yeah, so I think it's a really good suggestion, and I think even allowing just one per season, we're going to make gold a little bit harder to achieve. Probably bump it up another 10 points or so, and so guys are really going to have to earn it by putting out content. But if you earn it, then you're going to have that advantage that you'll be able to get rid of that one bad contract. And what we'll probably do is do the same thing that we do for regression prevention, which you can earn with gold, and it's a one time per player. So you can't, sign a bad contract with a player, cut him, and then re-sign him in the offseason, or a bad 1 year contract and then cut him again. Like, it'll be a one time per player type of use situation. But yeah, I think that it's going to help us get where we want to get. And again, I want to apologize to everybody who watches our shows. You guys are so patient with us, and I do. We try a bunch of different things. I'm just trying to up our game for y'all, and yeah, I think we learned our lesson that any more than two of us on video is not going to work. And so, yeah, next show we'll make sure that we all have our nice little pretty pictures up, and we'll have our full graphics up, and it'll work just fine with our audio. So I do apologize for that, and I appreciate my two co-hosts here, and even Dawson when he's on, for just being patient as we work through these technical difficulties. And I want to give you a shout out, Maniac, since you brought it up. You made such a cool little graphic that's so much better than my little Super Bowl trophy graphic that I make. I love it, and that's going to be a new staple. Not to let too many spoilers out, I think he's kind of showed them a little bit, but we're going to start to have a trophy case for every Madden that we will keep on the forums that Maniac is making for us, that will list all of the awards and Super Bowl winners. It's just going to be a trophy case from each Madden. It should make for a really, really cool thing that Maniac's working with and helping us on, and he'll earn incentive points for every single thing that he gets to create for us. So that's I've used a lot of our time today. We've been at it for an hour now, an hour and a half really, because we try to get started at 1:30 or 12:30, I should say. Let's spend a few minutes talking defense. So one of the new things that we want to try to do over the next couple of weeks of podcast is talk defense and offensive strategy and GMing. And we can kind of dig a little bit more into GMing in its own complete show. And here, I just want to kind of talk about how you build your team around your defensive strategy. What is your defensive strategy? And then we can even talk a little just X's and O's around certain situations. What do you call in a 3rd and 12? What do you call when they come out in 4 wide bunch formations? It's 3rd and 15, and you're trying to guard the sticks, which I don't want to chase this, rabbit around too much, but Madden 19, guarding the sticks is supposed to actually work, which is a really exciting thing. I used to hate, coming out in 3rd and 25. You can't play man because he'll run post outs and beat you on a post and get a long score. You couldn't run zone because it left big holes on a 3rd and 20 because that was so much field, and if you tried to guard the sticks it didn't work, and so I gave up so many 3rd and 20 first downs. It was just absolutely ridiculous. So Maniac, let's start with you. What is kind of your thought around your defensive strategy? Are you a 3-4 guy? Are you a 4-3 guy? Are you a multiple guy? How do you build your team around your strategy? Let's just kind of start there.
Well, with this Madden 18, when it's a hybrid guy, I try to get players that fit what I felt was my particular team. I really did a good job. Cowboys, we did have some pieces there that I built along with them that I could run 3-4 uh, package with that team. I was trying to do that with the Patriots. I think if I had another season, possibly two, I think I would have had the Patriots in that position as well because I had some good up and coming guys on the defensive line stuff. My core when I go in a defensive side of it, I focused on the front seven. Uh, I know the back guys are really important stuff, but if you're able to get pressure and contain the run in that front seven, Madden, you make your opponent and they have to throw the ball. And, uh,
Yeah.
when you control that defensive line, and once they become one dimensional, then you can call the plays that were your defense 10 is back and get after the quarterback, and then you can play zone. Uh, I know with this Madden, I was pretty decent using the middle linebacker field, and I always try to go within the rules, cover my zone and stuff, and not to roam too far out of those zones and stuff, and it's try to make it realistic stuff. But in that instance, I build that front seven where they can control the run, and I have a couple of defensive ends. I was big on actually using multiple people at different times. I would switch out if I was or built stronger for the 3-4. That was kind of my base, but I'd also bring in a 4-3 if I had those guys that were in those on those passing plays and stuff, the dimes and the quarters and stuff. I would put those guys on the outside end because basically hybrid ends, and they would be able to get up the field, and then I would use the other guys to control the backside of the field and stuff. And it worked pretty good for me. I know this last season I had some issues with that team, but still had fun. I was competing right up until the end. Wasn't able to get past that. Those my keys though is you got to build foundation front. And if you can do that, then you can start adding guys back in on the backside. And I think Mo kind of does the same thing. Mo's defensive line was dominant. And again, when we were doing the Super Bowl, he makes you one dimensional. And then he had the guys in the back to cover the field and take it up. And you see the results. It was four Pete for Mo there in Seattle.
Yeah, Dwayne, what do you think of when you think of your defensive strategy, and how do you build your team around that strategy?
Well, I'm a firm believer in the 4-3. I love 4-3. I love big bodies up front. Um, and I think I've spoken with you about it before, and you've mentioned before. I'm all about stopping the run. I think your defense starts in the trenches right there, and if a team can run on you all day, you're not gonna have a lot of success against them. I'm big. I think we spoke earlier. I think, like I said, 42% of my total cap this last season was on the offensive line and defensive line, and I just think you win games up front. My whole thing is that you got to have some big defensive linemen, big strong guys, guys that can clog up the lane right there. I'm not necessarily, and I know people would object to that. I'm not necessarily big on trying to get a ridiculous pass rush as much as I just don't want guys to run on me. And if I can get a pass rush off that, then even better. But I think if you put guys in passing situations, you create opportunities for your defense to make plays for you. Didn't always work like that, but a lot of times, better chance than not, I'd rather you throw the ball against me than run successfully. I'm big on. I want defensive linemen. I want defensive ends that are going to clog the lanes up, and I want safeties that are going to make guys pay for coming across the middle on passes. I believe no easy passes. It's about like they say in basketball, no easy layups, no easy passes. I want my guys to knock somebody's head off when they come across the field. And like I said, I run out 4-3. I did run 3-4 a little bit because I did have 4 linebackers that I was really big on this year. I had four solid linebackers. So I did throw 3-4 in there just to throw guys off a little bit, and to give my defensive line a break. I had 2 or 3 different 3-4 sets where the defensive tackle I switched out for the second one, so they would get a couple plays off. And I think that some people look past that stamina.
Yeah.
Function in their defense, and I think it helped a lot. Especially like I had Chris Jones, the defense tackle. I got him like season 2 this year. That dude is a man amongst boys on there. You talking about a guy who's 6'6", 330 pounds, and he can rush the quarterback, but his specialty is clogging that lane up. But I think just from my aspect of it, I like to run more man than I do zone. And I know that might break the trend. A lot of guys like to run zone more than they like to run man. I like to run man. I think man's your best run defense. And I think as long as you're not completely getting picked apart, you're not getting picked apart by the passing game. If I was more guys, I would lean more towards that man-to-man defense. Now, Madden 19, the games just react differently. I thought man reacted well. There's a certain, a few types of plays, crossing routes, PA crossing routes, stuff like that were really bad against man. I mean, they just tear man apart. Just even with your best cornerback, if that receiver was quick and had decent route running, he was going to get open. And that's just where I kind of leaned on. I was hoping my safeties would knock a head off when he got across the field.
Yeah. And I think that's how Madden made up for a lot of those easy completions.
Well, you were talking about, I think earlier in the chat, they were talking about drops. And not every drop is a hit stick forced fumble. But I think a lot of it, and Nate, you had to play against me twice. I guess you say 12 times this Madden. And, man, them linebackers, my linebackers too, I'm a key guy. Everybody knows I'm key on hit power. Hit power is my drug. I love hit power. But if there's nothing more frustrating for the opposing offense than to throw a pass, even an in route or a post route, and their guy catches the ball and they just think they got a first down, and Keanu Neal comes up and knocks their head off, and the ball does that awkward thing where it rolls off and it's an incompletion. There's no better feeling on defense seeing that, and there's nothing more frustrating on offense. And the whole part of defensive strategy is you got to frustrate the offense. You got to take him out of his game plan. And I've said there's a few teams in this league that really want to run the ball. Nate, you like to try to get the ball running. The Seahawks really want to get the ball running. Dakota with the the Chargers, he wants to get the ball running. That's just a few teams. Bill's one. Bill wants to get the ball running. But this league is a pass-happy league for the most part. And I think if I can really pinch down and what little running they want to do, just take it out, they're throwing the ball 70% of the game. Or, I know that's probably not within our things, but, you stop them. Now you speak from experience on you don't run the ball well for the first 2 or 3 drives, and you're like, well, crap, why am I even going to run the ball? Now let me throw the ball 3 straight downs. Yeah. Not saying you have, just saying that you've been that. And I've been in that situation playing Mo where you're running the ball and you're not getting anything. And you're like, something's got to give here. I guess I'll start trying to pass the ball. And guess what? When you start trying to pass the ball that many times, you make plays like me. I was all for my safeties. I want 2 ball hawking, head hunting safeties. And Neal and Radway did that for me this season. That if you tried to lob them over the middle, they were going to make a play on it, or they were going to knock your head off. And I just feel like as a defense, that's where I wanted to go with that is I wanted to stop the run. I wanted to put my money in my defensive line. I had a very solid linebacking core, but they were not outrageously expensive. And I put a lot of money in my safeties. Both my safeties, especially Keanu Neal, was franchise tagged the last 3 seasons. And luckily, Radway, I got him on a 4-year, like $30 million deal, which is not a cheap deal, but it's a reasonable deal. And that's what I just think most guys here, you got to find your calling card. You got to find what kind of defense you want to run and stick with it. And I don't think that if you play against Cincy your first game and he puts 600 total yards against you, I don't think you should abandon your game plan.
Yeah.
I think you should stick with it and keep trying to. You got some teams here. No matter what you do, they're going to score. I mean, they're just going to put up some yards. You just got to hope that your defense makes plays for you when you can get it. And that's where I go back to. I want a 4-3 defense. I want to stop the run. I want to make you try to pass the ball, and I either want to knock your head off or make you lob one across the middle that I can intercept. That's just the way I look at my defense. I believe in a big front seven and hit power. Those are my two drugs, and you can feed me those, and I'll be all right.
Yeah, I think I was kind of a multiple guy. I think I lean towards, I'm a 4-3 guy at heart, but I lean towards in Madden 18 3-4 because so many people were trying to pass the ball. I enjoyed having those athletic linebackers on the field to kind of take the middle away. I know Madden 18, the middle was so open so often that's why I like to run that 3-4. But then as we moved into all Madden, that 3-4 really got exposed with the run. And so I did swap back to a 4-3, but I had a multiple playbook, a lot what Maniac was saying, where I was running some 3-4 schemes from time to time. If it was a down and distance that was long, I definitely would move over to the 3-4. But I think that, I enjoy having those guys in the 3-4 when you have them that can get after the quarterback but can also clog the running lanes. And I just didn't build my team to fit that. And my players this last season didn't play well at all. And so having to put that extra defensive lineman on there to stop the run, to force the pass, really was a necessity. And what I'm excited about Madden 19 is guys will not be able to run the ball 30, 40 times. It's just not going to be a thing. It's going to be too hard. And so guys are going to have to pass the ball, 17 to 25 times. And I think you're going to avoid the games where, look, Dwayne, I found myself in them with you. I was giving up 6, 7, 8 yards a run. I mean, you were just gashing me, and there was nothing I could do. I was throwing blitzes. I was throwing man. I was throwing zone. Like, I would throw the kitchen sink, and you were still getting those 6, 7 yard gashes. You only had to throw the ball 9 times a game, 10 times a game. And then you were going 9 for 9 and 10 for 10, right? Like, and just like, what do you do? We were watching the Super Bowl, and, he gets an opening kickoff fumble recovery. First play of the game, a 35, 45-yard touchdown run straight up the gut. Like the seas spread, and he walked on dry land all the way to the end zone. And yet, how do you, what do you do? And then Wilson goes 9 for 12 and is hitting big, long bombs to his speedy receivers. Like, it was really difficult for guys who had built their team to fit their schemes. I think what I'd like to pick both of your brains about, and this can just be an open conversation. We don't all have to take turns here, but, what are your thoughts when you go down in distance? And that's where I love to learn from guys, and I very much am a lover of football because I love the X's and O's. And again, what we've built here in our community with FPR is it truly is that back and forth of a chess match. Like, not just, well, I know that this play will work at this time because I have this speedy receiver, or I know this defense will work with these 3 adjustments and the speedy linebacker. Like, I hate that kind of stuff, which is why we limit hot routes, but I hate when I see a guy's got to call 2 and 3 hot routes per game. And I know the feedback, right? The fireback is that, well, the defense is weak in this area. Well, yeah, that's the point. Like, if you're going to call that defense, it should be weak in that area. Like, you can't crawl. Well, I give up drags. Well, you play a cover 4 every down. Like, I guess you're going to give up drags. Everybody's playing the ball deep. Or, hey, I give up, play action post to the centers. Well, you're playing man cover 2 all game long. You're supposed to get, there's supposed to be a weak and a strong area of every defense and every offense, and that's what I'd love about these conversations. So what are just kind of your thoughts around down and distance? I know that on first down, we'll get when we talk about offense, but on defense, I'm really just I'm going to throw out a pretty vanilla defense on that first drive. I'm just trying to see, what is this guy going to try to do? How's he going to try to attack me? When I go into games like a Maniac, like a Dwayne, like a Dawson, I know these guys are going to try to establish the run. I know D Wayne's going to do that by trying to pound me in the middle. He's going to throw in a couple of tosses and sweeps, but most of it's going to come in the middle. So I'm really trying to play that man defense. I'm trying to stop that run early. I'm trying to force him into an early punt so I can get into my offensive flow and my offensive strategy. So when I start seeing first down, I'm probably going to play man against you. I've tried to mix it up this year and play a vanilla offense. Defense of a zone. So I may come out in a cover four. I may come out in a man two up. So that's kind of my thought process around first down. We start getting in third and long. I struggle, right? I want to come after the quarterback, but if you don't get to him within a second or two, you're really leaving yourself vulnerable and open to giving up those big plays. If I've got a third and short, right, I'm gonna like to sprinkle in some man there. A lot of guys love to run that cover two zone, right? You guys know that's my soapbox. I hate that play. I think it's way too overpowered. So, kind of, what are your thought processes when you start to see down a distance? Where do you like to blitz? I know a lot of guys are either first down blitzers or second down blitzers. I kind of grew up under the strategy and like trained by guys who are good defensive players that second down is a good blitz. I usually never send more than two people. I don't like to send three and four guys. I usually like to send one extra guy and then make sure that I have, like, if I'm playing a man and I'm sending a man blitz, I'm usually going to play a safety where I can give that help to that extra covered open guy. If I'm playing a zone, then I'm going to really shade that zone to give that help where that blitzer's coming from. But what are your thought processes around downs and distance and play calling?
Go ahead, Maniac.
All right. Well, I mean, first stuff, my strategy, uh, basically, I want to play defense first because if I can get the offense off the field in that first drive, I've got the upper hand. Uh, that was my thought process. Obviously you're going to get the ball in the second half, but the way I would try to, and I would try to scout my guy that I was playing, my opponent, and they like to run a lot on first down. They like to pass it on second down, and those are kind of basic things and stuff. But my deal was probably 90% of the time in first down, I started out with man. Man was pretty good no matter what it was, a good run. And a lot of times, typically, a guy is going to start out the game running the ball. It's kind of the most um, vanilla thing to do. It kind of, gets you into the flow. And I was the same as everybody else. Most of the time, start the game, run the ball. That's just my deal. So my strategy was to anticipate run, come out with man, and usually, unless I got a three and out, and I did a lot with the Cowboys, especially first drive, there's a lot of three and outs and stuff. Um, you know, my second down basically it would come in with either I would do another man, depending upon the down. And if you're looking at second and long, most of the time I'm coming out in the zone, probably a cover three or possibly a cover three blitz. And then on like a second and short, I'm coming in probably with another man. Just meaning they got lucky, got through, got a good run on the first down.
Are
Then
you leaning towards a blitz on a second and short? Like, is there a down that you like or a distance when you think blitz, or do you just kind of mix it up? And I'm not trying to get you guys to show all your cards here, so
no,
I know everybody's got like trade secrets that they like to keep, but I think also this is just great strategy for guys who are struggling in this league to kind of up their game and get better. And like I'm trying to learn too, but like, is there a down and distance for you guys that you like to blitz, or you just kind of go by feel?
I'm for me, I'm second down. It has to be second and long for me to blitz. Most of the time, I'm coming with a zone blitz on a second down and long. Um, if the guy's really good, because in that process, the routes are going to be long. He's more likely taking calling a play that's going to be trying to get a first down. So second and long, feeling a little bit of pressure, like I lost a yard on first down, or I only gained one on first down. So more than likely, the actual route call is going to be something. So the distance of the first down. So a zone blitz or even a man blitz, but the safer play to me was a zone blitz in that situation because again you got to wait a little bit longer for those routes to get open. It depends on also the players' type of receivers and stuff. If you got a really fast receiver, somebody can break off the line of scrimmage, you might want to tone down blitzing all. Breaks through any zone, it could be a big play. So, but that's kind of the way I looked at it. I don't know about you, Dwayne. Had
Dwayne?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that. I'm cat sitting, I think. Uh, yeah, you were talking about, Maniac was talking about, especially on offense, he was being vanilla. You run the ball, trying to test it out. Now, I know we're talking about defense. I'm on offense. I want to run the ball, and I want you to know I run the ball, but I just want you to stop me from running the ball. That's the way I look at it. I want to, but on defense, it's kind of like that too. Especially, I play Nate. Like I said, we played 12 times this cycle, or Colin, or um, I just blanked out. The Tampa Bay
Tanner.
Tanner. I'm sorry, Tanner. I don't know why I blanked out there. But you get to learn somebody's tendencies, and even somebody like Mo. I play Mo way too much this cycle. I don't know how you guys play in his division, because Tanner really has to pat me on the back after those games. But it's you kind of get to learn tendencies, and sometimes even learn tendencies, you still can't stop it. But on like first down, somebody like me, I'm running man, and people know I like to run man, and I think that's why I see a lot of play action on first down, because people want to pick on the man-to-man defense, and that's just where I kind of trust my guys. I hope they make a play. I hope my defensive line gets enough pressure on him without blitzing, especially on first down. I'm just going to speak from the heart. I hate blitzing on first down.
Yeah.
I hate seeing being blitzed on first down. But like I said, I know what happens, and I know it towards the end of the game, or if you're running the ball real well, people are going to blitz to try to break that, what you got going there. But for me on first down, if you catch me blitzing on first down, and I'm gonna be a man, I'll admit it, it's a frustration blitz. If you ever see me blitz on first down, it's a frustration blitz. Either I'm not be able to do what I want to do, and I'm not stopping the run, and so I'm trying to. But that's a very rare occurrence. You'll see me blitz on first down. And even on second down, I'm not a big blitzer. I'm just not a big blitzer in general because I feel like a blitz is a very high risk, high reward. And I just don't believe the risk outweighs the reward on that one on getting a sack. I'm hoping my front four can get a sack without blitzing, because especially in zone blitz, I know Maniac said he likes the zone blitz, and zone blitz is so much better versus the pass than the man blitz. But if you run against a zone blitz and catch it just right, there's no greener pasture for a running back than seeing a zone blitz.
Which you would do. Now, again, I don't want to talk offensive strategy. I want to save that. But, like, I seen you, like, Dwayne was a king of doing that to you. Like, he would catch you when you would try to play these, like, zone coverages on third down, and he would do a shotgun draw on you or whatever to pick up that easy first down because he's catching you in a bad play. So like it's definitely like that chess match that you got to have with people of if they're going to play zone every third down. That's why I like to mix in man. Number one, for our rules, but number two, because I play guys like Dwayne who they'll run the ball on you. Like just because they're coming out in shotgun and it's 3rd and 15, don't think that they won't run the ball on you because he'll take that thing straight up the gut, pick up his first down, and keep rolling. So what about like when you guys, Dwayne, I'd love to hear what you think is like around adjustments. Now, I'm a big proponent for pushing guys to run the play that you called. Run the play in the playbook. Don't sketch up your own play. I totally get allowing guys to make adjustments. I think adjustments should be made throughout the game. I'm fine with them a couple times a drive, a couple times here and there. I get antsy whenever I see guys making 2 and 3 per play, every drive, or several plays in a row. It's like run the play that you called, right? Like that's the chess match here, is that every play on both sides of the ball has weaknesses and strengths. You should run the play that you called, and let's see who has the best strength here and who has the biggest weakness here. So what are your thoughts around adjustments from a guy who usually didn't make a lot of adjustments?
I'm kind of like you said. I do like to make a play call and just match it up against that person. It is frustrating. You talk about hot routes and you allow hot routes. You don't like see too many hot routes. I'm one seeing 3 or 4. Especially if I see over 2, I get frustrated.
Yeah.
Just seeing that many hot routes because you are. But I will say this: I know from experience as a guy who, if you play Mo and you're not using your running back as a blocker, you're naive.
Yeah.
And changing him to a blocker is a hot route, and I understand that, and I understand, Maniac, and I guess you both have did it, or you do max protect before, and it'll take both
Well,
backs and the tight end.
Well, I'm thinking
And
mainly around hot routes on the defensive side of the ball, right?
oh,
We'll get to the
okay,
offensive, but even around the defensive side of the ball, look, I think the Jets, I've seen them do it, watching their film, right? They'll call 2 or 3 hot routes on defense, which, again, on defense, those hot routes are pretty limited. You're actually changing either a guy going from man to zone. Look, Dux was known for that, right? He would call a man defense, but then zone his linebacker every single play, right? And so he could roam with his linebacker, but yet he was still calling, quote unquote, a man defense. So, kind of, what are your thoughts when you start thinking
well,
about the hot routes on defense?
I will say this: other than I am a big, and I don't move them a lot, but I like to shift my defensive line, or I'll pinch my defensive
Yeah,
line, or I'll get them where they blitz outside. Other than that, I guess you could say I don't audible any individual players.
yeah,
I never have, because for one, I will mess it up. I will mess the design play call up trying to change somebody. Uh, Other than going over the top or under the underneath coverage, I don't adjust anybody on defense. I might move my defensive line, shift one way or another. Now I'm not one. I'm not going to shift it after I shift it once, unless I just see a lot of shifting on the offense. He just completely changed everything. I'm going to let it be, and let it play out. Sometimes it bites me like that. I've shifted one way, trying to make an offense run the other way. They ran the way I wanted to run, and they made me pay for it. And I can't speak on y'all ever doing that, but I will try to influence offense to run the ball the way I want them to run.
Right.
And I will say, from a adjustment standpoint, using the linebacker has opened my variety up a lot, just because you can control so much more without having to adjust your defense. If your guys in the, even cover any of the coverages, that middle linebacker is going to be in the middle of the field covering. I think it limits what you have to adjust, because he could you could do so much more with that linebacker than you could use your defensive line. I think it really broadens your horizons. But for on defense, I've never been an audible guy. I've never really adjusted anybody on defense. Usually I'm going to use it at middle linebacker. Kind of like you said, Nate, I have before on a blitz, especially third and long.
yeah,
I will throw a blitz in. I will use them to safety.
yeah.
Very mixed results. I've not made very many big plays, but I've really messed it up a lot.
Yeah, and we
I
could
think that
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying the safety one is such a high risk, high reward in my opinion, just because I've seen some guys play safety, and Nate for one can make plays at safety, or Cincy, I've seen him make plays at safety, and even Mo, I've seen him drop back play safety
Right.
and make plays. I have not got that yet. I've just broke through on being able to get in the way of a pass with my linebacker. Still not very good at intercepting it. But to come that safety, man, you have to have so much discipline on not letting somebody get behind you, especially if you're watching the play in the cold and you're trying to make a play, and then all of a sudden Kesey's 20 yards behind your safety, and it's just I
Yeah,
hear the whole Titanic song playing in the
yeah,
background. It's really sad. Uh, but yeah, just me. I don't have a lot of adjustments on defense, other than I move my defensive line a little bit to maybe influence, or I'm trying to think I'm trying to get you to think I'm
yeah,
influencing you, or I will go, especially playing somebody like Mo, or somebody with a speedy receiver like Maniac, or even not Maniac, Cincy or Dawson had a speedy receiver. I'm gonna play over the top coverage. I just don't want you. I'm gonna make you earn your points. I don't want you to get a 70-yard pass. I want you to have a 10-play drive to score on me.
yeah. And I think you bring up another point that I want to hear us talk about. And so, Maniac, we're going to throw 2 points at you to kind of get your thoughts. I went from a linebacker guy. Now, look, I'll say this. I will always be on the soapbox of I would ban defensive line usering tomorrow if I could forever. I just think that the more I've played this game, I've been playing it for 20-something years, like, it takes no skill. It is completely a timing thing, and I think it limits it limits guys' skill level when they just use their defensive line. I'm fine with it from time to time, right? Like if it's a third and long, and you know that hey, I'm going to call zone, but if I don't get to that guy soon, he's going to burn me, and you want to use their defensive line, it's a little lame, but whatever. I get it. Go for it. But using a defensive line all game, like I had some games. I think there was like 3 or 4 games 2 seasons ago where I gave up 8 sacks uh, each game from one guy. Like, and he was just usering, and he just was getting to me, and it just I was like, how's this even fun for you? Like, is it fun that you like? How's that even fun? Like this stopped being fun for me 15 minutes into the game. How's this fun for you, dude? I just don't get it. So I went from a linebacker guy, which Dwayne has grown himself into a great user linebacker guy, to a safety guy these past 2 seasons. I really do enjoy trying to, like Dwayne said, bait somebody into giving me that throw in the center. I was really trying to take away that middle of the field with my safety. Hey, the first season worked great. I took an undrafted free agent guy that I really, really liked that had a lot of great skills. And I think I led rookies in interceptions with 6. Colin, I'm still a little salty. I didn't get in the Rookie of the Year defensive player voting for that one. Um, but then this past year, I only had 1 pick, right? And my defense was not that great. So, like, it was really mixed results. But, Maniac, when you think of adjustments and when you think of user, and kind of what are your thoughts on these conversations that we've been having?
Well, you hate to see anybody make tons of adjustments and stuff. And I personally, I try to limit them. Now, if a guy is just, hammering me over something, what I'll do, uh, I have, it, well, ah, uh, on defense, there's kind of a limited amount of plays. Like, there's cover three, there's cover four, in different formations, but it's all kind of basically the same cover six, cover nine, um, all same types of plays and stuff. But uh, if I from some defensive formation, if I call a play like maybe 4 or 5 times within the first half, um, depending upon how many times I face the offense, and this guy, whoever I'm playing, sometimes they'll key on, see how the safeties react and stuff. Sometimes out of the blue, I would like the slot corner, instead of having him go to the flat, I would actually uh, zone him to go in a curl zone, and then I would take the outside linebacker and put them to cover the flat. Just kind of mixing it up. I would take their two responsibilities, and I would basically uh, wouldn't so much change the play, but just change the personnel's responsibilities. And I would do that sometimes just to get. And I was. You can ask Pepper. He hated me controlling the linebacker. Vehemently hated me because he said that just intercept everything and stuff. And I told him, he had a lot of tendency stuff, but and I'm gonna let the secret out of the bag now since Madden 18. Secret to intercepting the ball as a linebacker, you have to time the triangle just right, and as the ball gets to you, and this is basically fundamental football. You square your shoulders to the ball by using the strafe button, and then hit the triangle button at the same time. That squares your guy up to the football, and it makes it a lot easier for them to get the ball. So I'm, I'm giving away
Oh,
the but in those instances and stuff, I tried to limit the the amount of audibles and stuff that I would do. Every once in a while, I would maybe put the slot defensive guy in a man if I was calling a zone to cover the one speedy wide receiver that was going to go across the middle. That's usually what a slot receiver does, and that would be about the extent of any kind of craziness that I would do in my defense stuff. Most times, if I wanted to make it a full adjustment, I make sure to, and this is a tip too. Uh, you can make your adjustments on defense. You don't have to. do all the single player stuff, have your audible set to where you have uh, things that cover uh, um, within 5 to 10 yards. And have your audible set where you have things that cover deep. You also have uh, your man covers that if in that instance you get on the field and you see that the offense has made adjustments against you, change up on the fly with those audibles and stuff so you're not having to highlight the player and totally change the play art of the play.
Yeah, I think that one of the most adjustments I found myself making were just the quarterback spy, especially on like a third and long. When you play, D Wayne would get me all the time, right? Third and long, I'd play a zone. It would just open up the middle, and freaking Paxton Lynch would take off for a 15-yard run and a first down to give him first and goal to 8. Like I just would lose my mind, and so especially on those third and longs, I would usually try to. A lot of times, I try to quarterback spy somebody or spy him with my user safety, right? Like try to cover my zone, but also keep my eye on that guy if he takes off. And I think that one of the things that I became a big fan of, and that was from watching and studying film on Dwayne, is that like everybody leaned on that cover 2 zone call way too much. And so watching film with him, his kind of answer to why people were calling that play, right? They're trying to take away those out routes. They're trying to take away the long side of the field. They're trying to take away maybe like the post outs on the long side of the field.
Right.
So Dwayne's answer to that, and it really became a strategy of mine after watching some of his film from 4 seasons ago or so, was a lot of cover 6, a lot of cover 9. And so I found myself on those like third and long situations, second and long situations on that long side of the field. Guys would actually try to swap it, right? They'd want that short covered zone on the short side of the field, but I'd actually do it on the long side of the field because I'm trying to take away that out route. I'm trying to take away that easy completion for the first down. So I found myself not needing to call a cover 2 zone because I could call a cover 6, a cover 9, and I could cover that one side of the field. And on the short side of the field, I'm giving up those comeback routes, but guys usually aren't looking at the short side of the field because there isn't enough room to make that completion and pick up the first down. And so those were like one of those tips and tricks. And so, look, I know that I'm kind of getting you guys to share your tips of the trade here, but I think that, again, if you just go watch film, you'll also just see what people's tendencies are and what they like to do just by watching film. And watching film on Dwayne caused me to kind of pick up on that cover 6, that cover 9, and I actually started to put that more in my repertoire. I am a strict, man to over man defense. That's what I enjoy calling. That's usually what I call. But really this year when I had to call a zone, I was mixing in a lot more of those other coverages because of watching how successful guys like Dwayne were. And sometimes you just would bait somebody into a bad throw and just throw that pick to you right away. So lots of good strategies, lots of good tips and tricks that you guys are sharing. And thanks for everybody for watching 2 different videos, for hanging through our technical difficulties. This has been fun. These are the kind of things I enjoy doing, and I think that these last 15, 20 minutes of just talking strategy and just talking X's and O's, we'll do more of that. So the next show, we'll have less like things to talk about. So we'll talk a lot of offensive strategy. How do we build our teams to fit our offensive strategy? How do we play call certain things? And we'll also by then be able to talk award winners. We'll be able to talk Hall of Fame. We'll be able to talk kind of all the final wrappings up of Madden 18 as we now are over. We're going to give the weekend to let everybody vote for everything. So please make sure you take time to give us your votes. And then look for some new stuff, maybe on that next show or maybe the show after. If Maniac is comfortable enough, I'm going to let him kind of roll out some of his new ideas that he has. The only little pushback I'm going to give to my buddy is just stay consistent with them, man, because you do have great ideas and you create great content. Just stay as consistent with it as you can, because I think guys really want that to become a staple. And with that promise, I will also promise that I will find ways to not only be more consistent with Game of the Week, but find ways to be more consistent. I didn't do any of my OMFL hot seat this past year, and I know that's something that guys really, really enjoyed. And when I say this past year, I mean this past like human year. This whole last Madden, I didn't do a hot seat. So I'll try to find time this offseason to do a hot seat. And try to bring that back for Madden 19, because I know that guys enjoy it. So, final thoughts on the afternoon, and then we're going to put a bow on it and get on out of here. Thank you both for hanging out with me. D. Wayne, your final thoughts for Season 78, defensive strategy, and all these other things that we've been talking.
Well, I think season 78.
79. I was wrong. 79.
79 was a success. I think it was a good season. I think it did end up kind of the way a lot of us had envisioned. I get spiteful every time Maniac predicts Mo to win the championship. I'm joking, Maniac. But I think it was a good season. I think that I did enjoy hearing both y'all's sides and y'all's, just defensive tips. I mean, even as a guy who takes pride in defense, you still pick up tips. You want to see what other guys like Maniac's one. Maniac's one of the toughest teams for me to play every season, or when we do play. Just because, for one, I think he plays a lot like me, and that's frustrating. And but it is nice to hear y'all sides of it. And I would actually, you're talking about having a hot seat, is hearing other owners with their thoughts on defense, with their thoughts on offense. Without giving too many trade secrets. I think it would be interesting to hear that side from other owners.
Before I throw it over to Maniac for his final thoughts, when you mentioned the Seahawks, I just want to throw the Seahawks stats and stuff up, since he did win the Super Bowl. Congratulations to Mo, our first ever back-to-back champion. Hopefully our last ever back-to-back champion. But I just pulled up his stats, and he almost had 3,000-yard rushers. That's stupid. I can't even wrap my brain around how his backup to his backup almost had 1,000 yards. It's just crazy. What a crazy, great season by him. All right, Mr. Maniac, put your final thoughts on all of the great conversations we've had today.
Yeah, it's been great hearing different sides of defense strategies and what's all going to be going on with the OMFL, and looking forward to Madden 19. I know you said about my stuff. That is my goal, to stay involved, plugged in, and I know I didn't do a very good job with Madden, especially later on and stuff. But
you had a lot going on. It's not laziness, so don't. It definitely was not a lazy. That you had a lot of things going on in life.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get things rolling and stuff, and I'm gonna give a little plug. One of the ideas that I want to do, and I've already got it ready to roll. Just gotta get participation and stuff from everybody. Is a top 20, kind of like the NFL does with the top 1 players of the league and stuff. So this one, because obviously we don't have individual players playing on the field in Madden, because the coaches are the main thing and stuff. So I've come up with a thing for. I want to find out who the top 20 OMFL coaches are here. So I'm going to get each individual coach, owner from the league to vote their top 20, and then we're going to reveal that from 20 down to number 1 on the Press Pass Live shows and stuff. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting to get everybody still. I don't want those guys that are the 12 that are left off. I don't want them to feel bad, because everybody is great owners and stuff here and stuff, but also this is going to be something to get to see from the peers who they felt was very strategic. And it's not just, who was the best player, but, who was the best at running their team. Take that into consideration stuff as you're voting top 20 to number 1. And it's going to be exciting to see what that comes out at.
I also think it'd be a great idea for any owner who's like, I'll do content, I've got time, I just don't know what to do. Like every season to put out a top whatever it would be. 100 would probably be way too much, but like maybe a top 50 OMFL player list. I mean, look, with Google Forms and Google, all the different Google options that we have, like it's super easy if you've got the time to put into creating those documents that you could put together like a top, like they do in the NFL, a top 100 list, a top 50 list, or whatever. I just think that would be a neat content idea. I love these ideas. I just think this is what makes us the best. And makes us push ourselves. And these are one of the reasons that we have, owner suggested rules or changes every single season that gets posted, and you have an opportunity to have your voice heard. And as a board, we take them into consideration. And to be honest, I think our numbers are probably 95% of your suggestions we end up doing, because we take what you say to heart, and we really try to make those changes. But guys, thank you again for putting through all the technical difficulties. I'm going to go try to enjoy some time at the pool for a few minutes before I have to get back to work with all these off-season things that have to get done. Lots of great stuff is coming. Please stay plugged in and tuned in. Enjoy the rest of your little break here that we have before Madden 19. It is coming out sooner than it probably ever has, I think. I mean, August 10th is pretty quick, so we're less than a month away. We've got a couple different shows coming up for you, so lots of really fun stuff. Plug into the shared list. So if you do share or ! share, and then whatever league you're in, OMFL, NBC, OMFL2, OMFL Coach Mode, the basketball, the GFW, like any league that you're in here, there is a playlist. It's all been fixed. I've been working on it a lot lately. I give you not only the playlist link that you need, I give you the screen cover that you need to put on the front of your video that all YouTube does for you, the thumbnail I should say, automatically. And I also give you the how-to in case you get confused or lost. All you got to do is type that in, share your videos with us, help us to build those playlists up, give people a reason to subscribe and check out our channel. So thank you guys again for giving me some of your Saturday, for watching our show. We will see you next time. Peace out, guys.
Better, guys.